This is my 1995 Volvo 850 Turbo with 210,000 miles. I got it about 3 months ago from a guy down in Chicago, and it's got a lot of problems. I've already started working on some of them. This is the center console armrest. It's currently not in the car, and it's broken. The posts that hold it onto the rest of the armrest are broken off. And something I've been working on, but I'm stalled in the fact that I don't have a 3D printer. I've also done a little bit of work. I've removed the headlight wipers, and I'm going to take these motors out as well here in the near future. I don't like how they look, and also the parts were broken anyway. That seatbelt reminder relay is broken as well. I had to take the front license plate bracket off because it was one of these posts had broken off, and I wanted it to not be like that, so I got it, and I'm going to put it on. Replaced a couple fuses, did an oil change, got new wipers. That's about all I've done, but there's a lot of work I have to do, because I don't know when this thing last had a timing belt put in it. I mean, obviously there's one in it now. However, I'd like to put a new one in. I also have stuff to do: spark plugs, the PCV system, which is a bunch of hoses down there, and also just a couple random filters and whatnot. But first things first, license plate bracket, cabin air filter, and then I'll probably take off the air box because I'm going to be doing distributor cap and rotor and spark plugs and wires and whatnot. Don't know if I'll be able to get to timing belt and PCV today. There's a car meetup in my area every Thursday evening that I would like to go to, and if I don't have a timing belt, I can't drive the car. So I don't want to bring the Pathfinder. I guess let's get going. Test fit the license plate, works fine, so cabin air filter. One nifty thing about this car that I forgot to mention was that you can actually lift the hood up further if you move those little retaining things, and then when you put the hood down, they'll actually go back into this current spot. But the hood can actually lift up to near vertical, and that's pretty cool. Filter. Alright, now I need to remove the airbox and the cover for the spark plugs. I'm a little concerned about the oil coming out here. Hopefully that doesn't mean my tube seals are bad. If they are, I'm not going to replace them yet, just because I'm doing PCV, and fixing the PCV system might fix some of the other oil leaks, or at least cause them just to stop leaking. But let's get this airbox out. Every project reaches a point where you're like, you know what? Maybe I should be wearing gloves. Well, this is probably the reason why. It looks like this is supposed to be screwed in right there, but the previous owner decided that they were cool with it just sitting. Walnuts. Alright, now we have access to all the plugs and wires necessary to do distributor. Oh, that's a lot of oil. Alright, let's see which plugs are full of oil. No oil. No oil. That one looks like it had some oil in it. Doesn't have much anymore. That one looks pretty good. And that one also looks pretty good. So it looks like it's just this one that had oil in it. But it's not a whole lot. Chances are that oil that's been puddling there has just been puddling up for a long time. So that's not too bad. Apparently I wasn't recording, but I took the first two spark plugs out already, and I have a little bit of gunk on them, especially on the outside, but the plugs themselves don't look horrible. I don't know. It's the first time I've done this before, but they're not like super black or bent or anything, so I'll take that as being in pretty alright shape. But 3. So I actually bought an inspection camera at one point, and I've never had a chance to use it before, but I went and looked down in here. There's a lot of carbon buildup, but it was honestly just kind of neat to see. Not something I've done before. Anyway, spark plugs ought to go back in. Spark plugs are now done. What kind of have black? Hopefully it's still black. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now with this one. That's the ignition coil wire. I don't think I have one of those. 3. 4. And 5. Now, of course, I will be replacing these wires. However, I don't want to get anything mixed up until I do. Does this plug fit up? Yeah, the answer is yes. Plug and wire assembly. We have brand new air filter. These are there here. Oh, you know this. These are there here. And then 4. 1, 2, 1. Sure, 2, 1. That's it. 1, 2, 1. Sure, 2, 1. And finally, the same. Cool. Yes. 1, 2, 1. Go back. Just go back. Now, you got 3, 5. That's up. Go 2. 2. Here. 5. So this. Here. 5. Go 2, 5. 4. 1. Here's 1. Here you go. 4. Here's 1. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go back. New plug installed. Dust cap, reasonably tight. goes there. Plug wires installed. I have made an executive decision that I will not be doing any more work on this today. I still would like to go to that car meet. And also, there are a couple of tools I should probably get. I need to get something to take the tension out of the serpentine belt. I need to get a lock for the camshaft to make it easier, especially since I've not done it before. I'm going to be ordering some more coolants and also a new seal for this dipstick tube at the bottom. Fuck! Forgot to put the dust cap back on the rotor. God damn it. Well, it is what it is. Dust cap. Assuming I remember to connect everything, I should be able to take it for a drive now. So, I will see you guys once I've brought it back. So, it's been about a week since I did the spark plugs and distributor stuff. Car's been great, no issues that weren't already a problem. I was doing some prep work for the job I'm going to be doing today, which is the timing belt. Just loosening the wheel lugs. I was going to jack the car up, got some chocks. And whoever tightened these wheel lugs did too good of a job and over tightened the crap out of them. And I actually broke my 1/2 inch to 3/8 reducer on them with the breaker bar. Well, it's been about 30 seconds since the last clip, but apparently I have a missing wheel stud. I suppose I ought to check the back wheels, which I'm not planning on taking apart today. It's got all the lugs. And that's got all the lugs. Well, that's something at least. Alright, well, I got all the lugs loose in the front. Back we'll be doing later. Because I actually do need to take them off to inspect the brakes and adjust the parking brake cables. But I did have a 19 mil 1/2 inch socket. It's probably what I should have been using this whole time, especially after I broke the first one, but I don't know, I've always used that 1/2 inch to 3/8 reducer, at least on the Pathfinder, so, and you live, you learn. Alright, well, time to get to work removing the timing belts. First step is going to be to drain the coolant out of the radiator, and then we'll go from there. I should just be able to remove. Alright, now we need to rotate until the timing marks line up. Well, alright, I'm going to make sure this is lined up and then get back to you guys. Well, I'm not looking forward to putting this back on. Alright, I got it slipped off the idler. The serpentine belt looks brand new. I'm sure we'll get to the timing belt and be like, yep, that's brand new too. I'm gonna do it anyway. That'll be a later me problem for figuring out how to get the belt back in. This timing belt also looks brand new. Alright, now we should be able to unbolt the tensioner. Alright, top bolt is out. Alright, now I need to take the tension off by bumping it over some. I'm not looking forward to getting this water pump out, god damn. Tensioner removed. Alright, I got that little lower plate off, but I also found that the bearing on this is bad, and this one's not great. So while I'm in here, I might replace them. I don't think the timing belt's going to be going on this week, the new one. But the old one can come off now. I just pop it off there. And then around the water pump, over top here. I should just be able to pull it out the bottom. Alright, I was able to get the timing belt out, despite it being a massive pain. Now I need to take off this tensioner and this idler pulley, and my battery powered lights keep dying. So I suspect once I finish taking everything off and then put like the new water pump in, probably I'll be mostly done for the day. All the YouTube videos I watched, this sure did look easier. Alright, well, I have been forced to reach a stopping point for the day. The tensioner pulley on this has a T45 Torx head, and I have no way of getting it out without going and getting a specialized tool. But for now, I have done what I can do. I might come back out and do some other work. It is a pretty dreary and rainy day. However, I got the tools in that I need, so hopefully we can get the last of this apart. Well, I suppose off to Reddit I go for advice on how to get myself out of this mess. Sure hope the answer isn't just, I guess it's staying in there, because that's kind of annoying. 8 hours, 3 hardware store trips, ton of anxiety, and 1 very helpful frogman later, I snapped the bolt off in the block. Just kidding. Got it out! It took so long, but I bought a 90-degree attachment for my Dremel over there and was able to basically relieve the stress that was pinching these together. And the bolt spun right out. This was, of course, after cutting off the idler as well as the outer bearing race and the bearings. So once the new pulleys come in that have bad bearings for the serpentine, I'm going to go ahead and change the water pump and put everything back together. I don't want to change the water pump until I'm ready to put everything back together, just so I don't get any rust inside the system. And even better, the only damage caused to this whole operation, besides the parts I wanted, were a few random bits of plastic that broke off of the rear cover. I don't know if this part is important. I might just go ahead and order a new rear timing cover. I haven't decided yet. Basically, it goes right here.
right here, and it keeps the tensioner from being able to pivot up too much. But given that the belt's, going to be pulling down around the water pump, I'm going to go ahead and probably just not. Well, that's all the fun there is to be had this week. Hopefully I'll get those new parts in when I get back from the next job, and I will be able to continue working on this. So I will see you guys when I get back to work. Alright, well, the working conditions are pretty unpleasant right now, brought to you by Satan's butthole. But I really do want to get the new timing belt water pump installed. I did get in the new pulleys for the serpentine belt. I have to work through it anyway. Oh well. Let's get this water pump out. I already cracked all the bolts. They all came out just fine. Or they all released just fine, so. There we go. Unsurprisingly, my camera overheated and shut off, so I took the time to do a good job cleaning out all the old gasket material. There was actually several gaskets worth of gasket material sitting in there, which means that the previous owner didn't do as good of a job cleaning it off, but it was kind of a pain, so I can understand why. I forgot to remove that paper towel, didn't I? Fuck me, dude. I was literally telling myself, hey, don't forget to remove that paper towel. Yep, there it is. One rag. One dumbass. And I'm going to go ahead and put it back together off camera because my camera's overheating again. So I'll start it back up once I get that back in, and then start getting everything else back together. YouTube's worst mechanic. Alright, got it reinstalled, torqued down properly. Alright, that's installed. Alright, now, tensioner idler. Took a bit of a break to clean my workspace up some. Make sure to clean up your stuff as you go. Makes it a lot easier to do stuff. Like this can get put away for now. It's got a new one of these clippy doos. Next, I gotta pull that little pin down there. Don't know if the camera can see it. That one right there. Alright, now we're going to remove our timing lock and rotate the engine over a couple. Timing belt is installed. And we also got this little cap that goes over that bolt head. We're probably going to have to put this in first. Do not believe any video that makes doing the timing belts on this Volvo look easy. I mean, there's certainly a chance that I'm just terrible at this, but wow, that is unpleasant. I got new timing cover screws. These are the old ones. Alright, well, with that taken care of, last thing I need to do is coolant. But I need to wash out the coolant bottle first. It's kind of gross. After that, distilled water in, do a bunch of cycles in order to get a proper coolant flush. And then I got some concentrate of the OEM Volvo stuff. Alright, let's get this coolant bottle in. Not going to put this in yet, because I still need to flush the coolant a couple times. That's obviously blocking the way. So let's get this reinstalled. Alright, well, here goes nothing. Hasn't ran in over 2 weeks. Well, I'm going to let it get to temp, flush the coolant a couple times, and then we'll go for a drive. Well, it took the whole rest of the day to the point where it's like 10 p.m. To do the coolant flushes. Alright. See how the coolant level is looking. Alrighty. Looks like we're good to go. Check engine lights. What the hell? Found a place to pull off. No idea why it's throwing check engine light. Coolant level seems fine. Sensors plugged in. Belt routing's correct. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and turn around then and head home. This car does have OBD2, so I can pull the codes, but this does not bode well. Hopefully nothing's broken too bad. Alright, well, now is the time that we get to see how screwed am I. Please be emissions related. Well, knock sensor. I'm not sure why that would have happened after doing timing belts. So I guess I will do my research and get back to you in a little bit. But this is kind of concerning.
So, last night, I'm going out for a drive after 2 weeks with the car being off the road. Knock sensor code PO326. Also, the first thing I'm checking is the timing okay? And it appears to be just fine. And if we check down at the very bottom, I know you guys can't see very well, but timing marks line up. So, timing's good. Which leaves me at a loss of what the actual problem is. I did clear the code and then revved the engine. It came right back, similar RPM. So, I guess let this be a lesson in not fixing what ain't broke. I didn't need to do timing belt. I did it anyway. And now the car's throwing a code. So, I will see you guys next time.